Do you ever look at someone's kids and go, dang, those are some ugly butt kids? Okay, but have you ever seen such a good looking couple give birth to an ugly kid? It's astounding. Even worse when the kid is already an adult and you know that there is no hope for them. I've also seen the opposite. The most uniquely odd looking couple I've come across had the most ethereal, classically beautiful child. Changeling comes to mind. A girl who bullied me in middle school has a son who looks like Dobby and he didn't grow hair until he was 5. Definitely the ugliest baby I've ever seen. Once I saw an old high school teacher in public. She was pushing around a stroller. I knew she had gotten married recently, so a baby wasn't a huge shock. I asked, did you have a baby, and she said yes. My next question was going to be the baby's name, but then I looked at it and its face was so smushed up I lost my train of thought. Some babies have smushed faces if they are recently born. One of the problems of having big heads come out of small tubes. They almost always get unsmushed. Source: former smushed up baby. Definitely, I was an ugly butt baby. I swear I looked more alien than human. When I told my father I was scared that I would have an ugly baby like myself, he tried to comfort me by saying I wasn't ugly and that I had personality. Personality is another word for ugly butt baby. Personality definitely counts for a lot. I know a couple. Drop dead gorgeous girl. Dude is attractive enough. The kid is weird, huge teeth, hairline about a mile above her eyebrows, and everything else just looks kinda weird. That's the best way to put it. I figure she'd grow into her looks. Number. It is like it is compounding every year. I knew a guy from high school like that. Every year he got uglier. About 2 years after high school I ran into him and he had gotten so ugly it was hard to hold a conversation with him because his face was so distracting. Everything about him, eyes, teeth, nose, seemed either too big, too small, or just generally funny looking. The only baby I have ever found the slightest bit adorable was my own sister. Every other has just been a strange looking alien creature to me. Some people's kids are just really ugly. I usually don't think much of it. By definition they're baby and they'll probably change a lot appearance wise as they age. Sometimes yeah I do, which is quickly followed by I hope they find happiness, friends and love, and if not that I hope they have the strength to endure ignorant people's balls. The only comment I liked in this comment section. Yeah, to the point that I already have a list of things to say for when someone shows me their baby just to avoid saying that they're cute because they aren't. But then there are lots of instances wherein ugly babies become attractive later on in life. Man, I really could have used that list. Boss just sent a pic of the newest grandbaby, like seconds after birth, with very grey hands. When I was 6 years old on a camping trip I ended up in a baby beauty competition. Spectating, by accident, was looking for the arcade. Saw some ugly butt baby on the stage. Bug-eyed, disheveled, etc. I told the little guy next to me, OMG, see that ugly butt baby? Who even puts a kid like that on a stage? Turned out troll baby was the guy's little sister. Never commented on baby's looks again. My cousin has an entire ugly family. Her husband, and all 3 of their kids looks practically deformed. But I'm fat and don't keep up with my personal appearance, so whatever, lol. INB4 she actually is deformed and married someone with the same condition, so he'd understand how hard it is to live with it. Lots of babies are ugly. Lots stay ugly until they get hair or their heads get bigger. Most little kids are adorable though, as long as they are clean and happy. Happiness is a great beautifier. Then they get ugly again at puberty. I was an absolute walrus of a baby with a constantly shocked expression and 3 chins and masses of thick black hair on my newborn head. I was adamant even from a young age that my parents were lying about how adorable they found me and that strangers loved me. But now I'm an adult I kind of get it. There is something very endearing and enigmatic about a face that is not conventionally attractive. You see it with plenty of actors and models too, unique looking people who ooze character before they even say a word. To this day one of my exes that I found the most beautiful and stunning was the one others would put down. I hated that. Another ex told me he never took it as a compliment that I found him attractive, as I'm often attracted to ugly people. He's still a good friend and that cracked me up. So sometimes yeah I'll look at a kid and my initial reaction might be whoa. but that unusual looking kid is probably super cute in a totally not boring way, and a face you remember, and they may grow into their looks fantastically, and I maintain I was basically a Cabbage Patch doll IRL, which is not cute. Kinda creepy. I looked like the kind of baby that never blinked. Friends have posted my baby photos online just because baby me cracked them up. Gotta appreciate making people laugh, even a little too easily. I feel so bad admitting this, even knowing that they won't know this is me, let alone see this comment. But there, friends, kid looks so weird. What's messed up is, I really thought their kid was gonna look cute, because they are really good looking. Nope, their kid looks weird. Some people say that kids grow into cuteness, but the older she gets, the more weird she looks. I mean, she's cute, but not fully because of her looks. My husband says she looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Ugh. I'm just afraid, once I am able to finally see them in person, that I'll say the kid looks cute, but with a facial expression like I just smelled something rotten. I had to unfollow an acquaintance on Facebook cause her kid is so freaking weird looking I couldn't handle looking at the pics. I do feel like a total shithead thinking it, but sheesh. I hope puberty is kind to him. I legit had to block an account on here because she kept posting her ugly baby on the baby sub. All the comments kept fawning over how cute the kid was. I could not see it and I was tired of the kid popping up in my feed constantly, but I'm a college professor and they are my students. I'm joking, but yes, I do often look at children and babies and go, oh, the cuteness reflex did not kick in for me with these. All the time, but I never vocalize my opinion. I also don't understand how people say newborns are cute. To me they all look like shriveled up turtles or aliens until they're 3+ months old. I assume people find them cute only because they're small. Cause yay, newborns aren't cute at all. Babies look like a bunch of potatoes in a skin bag for several months. Then they just look like lumpy old men for like a year. After that it's weird chubby humans until finished puberty. I see pictures of myself when I was a teenager and it's no wonder I never got laid in high school. They say that you are pretty much done developing in your late teens, but lots of men really glow up in their 20s. So I'll say we are all still weird lumpy babies until like 24. I know a lot of new Instagram parents, so they share too much, but some of their babies shouldn't be shared online. Photos. I really hope they grow out of it. How many Notre Dame like churches do we have for them? ATM 0. Definitely yes. My brother's ex had another kid with a new guy after she split up with my brother. That was the ugliest baby I have ever laid eyes on. I mean, legit practical joke level ugly. That was close to 20 years ago and that ugliest baby is now a stupid ugliest young man. He never grew out of it, more just leaned in. Dang dude, got me laughing at my doctor's appointment. I refrain between knowing how my kid looked right after birth and a lack of familiarity of the parents. I'm judging the kid because, no reason. Some old uni friends of mine had a kid. She was almost albino and so premature she was covered in white downy hair. My friends would post pictures all the time of their beautiful little princess. Another couple I'm friends with have 2 boys. Both had birthing issues. Now one looks like an alien. The other looks like a frog, but she'll constantly post pictures of them and talk about her handsome boys or how adorable they are. I always wonder if this will cause problems long term. If you've grown up with your mother constantly telling you how attractive you are but actually you're pretty low on the 1-10 scale, whether it causes issues dating or if that's how incel behavior starts. Common now one looks like an alien, the other looks like a frog. OMG I never do this, and shouldn't, but that made me laugh out loud so hard ha ha ha. I have 2 good looking parents and 3 good looking siblings, and always felt like the ugly one, even though they always told me it wasn't true. I'm child free, F41, but growing up I thought I wanted kids, and I purposely wanted to avoid having kids with someone with certain features so I could hopefully ensure my kids would be less likely to inherit the features of mine I found undesirable. I wanted to procreate with someone with a different skin tone and different facial features in the hope my kids would look more like them than me. Didn't end up mattering in the end. But I've sometimes seen women marry men with certain features and think, if she has a daughter, her daughter might come out looking like the husband, and she will have lower social status and probably have lower self-esteem her whole life because of it, and that's cruel to have a daughter who might come out looking like that. Then I think, dang, that's so fricked up that I look at life that way. I should probably get therapy. A lot of kids are ugly. Some grow out of it and some don't. Ugly adults didn't just happen out of nowhere. That said, it's not polite to say it out loud. It pains me to say it, but there are some ugly kids out there, looking like aliens tbh. What really gets me is when the parents are really ugly but their kid comes out cute. It's rare, but I have definitely seen it happen. My ex looked like a monkey as a kid. Now as an adult he is very attractive. So here's to hoping puberty helps these kids. Not that I would ever say it aloud because that's an butthole-ish thing to do, but I def notice. Even babies look more at good looking people. It's pretty much ingrained in our brains. Have you ever known someone you thought at first was an ugly person, but you liked them so much the ugly wasn't so ugly anymore and in fact turned into one of the things you love most about them? You remember how they make you feel when you are around them and their face and body go with those thoughts? Maybe they are especially thoughtful, kind or funny. Maybe they are selfless. Maybe they cook the best meals. Maybe they go around feeding the hungry. If you haven't, I'd encourage you to stick around and pay attention to those people with a different attitude than just assuming they will have a rough life because of their looks, and maybe you will learn something deeper. There are some amazing, lovely, successful people out there with unconventional looking faces and bodies who probably fit your idea of ugly, but the good news is, they don't care what you think they look like. I mean, I know plenty of ugly buttholes, but this is a nice sentiment. I genuinely don't understand how people think babies are cute. They are literally blobs of fat and skin. They all look the same, can't do anything on their own, and whine and be all day and night. On the other hand, animals are freaking legends. I know a couple that has the opposite problem. Both parents aren't very good looking, but their daughters are gorgeous, like model gorgeous. It still boggles my mind. I always get kind of excited when I see a truly ugly toddler in public. Toddlers tend to be cute by default, so seeing a hideous one is like seeing a unicorn. I was talking to someone about this earlier. I felt horrible saying it, but a neighbor's 5-year-old girl is hideous. I sincerely hope it's the ugly duckling who turns into a swan, but her mother isn't as attractive as she thinks she is and there's just no hope for the kid. I always swore this to be true. You can tell when people think a baby is adorable or ugly based on how they respond when they see your baby in person. If they make a big deal, want to hold, touch and talk baby talk to them, they are cute. But if they say things in a certain way like bless your heart, or simply say he she is cute without making a big deal of it, and most importantly don't ask to hold them or even touch them, then most certainly you have an ugly one. OMG yes, but I've seen the so-called ugly kid grow up and go through a puberty. Total 360. I think they tend to be the hottest honestly. My housemates and I once had a group chat called Ugly Baby Competition where we would share photos we came across on social media and see whose was the worst. I for sure am guilty and feel guilty of doing this to this one single baby. This newly dad copied the condoms brand meme, where he sent the baby his pic as a complaint. That got him a lot of attention, so then he tried to do the same for an alcohol company. Then he tried to sell the kid 2 months, barely used, plus posting her all the time. I was like, for myself, can you stop using your ugly butt kid for attention? It's sad by now. If the kid was cute, would I have a different opinion? Not really. It was just cringy to see, but the fact that the baby is ugly did make it worse. They posted a family photo recently and God, that little girl doesn't have any luck on the attractive pool gene. I don't want to be mean and I do feel guilty thinking like this. I also heard somewhere that ugly parents have a high chance of having pretty kids. You know, 2 negatives make a positive. Frick. I feel really guilty saying this. This comes from the dark part of my brain for sure. That's freaked up. What if his daughter grew up and seen the crap her father had been posting about her literally since her birth? Yes, I always have to remind myself of manners, though, and the fact that people are usually biased and think their kids are always the cutest. There's also the fact that seeing pictures and being around them and their mannerisms are two different things, so maybe their mannerisms can be cute. But yet there's nothing intrinsically evil or abnormal about finding people's kids ugly. It's not uncommon for babies to look weird and ugly the first 3 months of their life or so. They don't come out of the womb looking like cute babies. They look like reptiles at first. There's no chance they would be outcast babies if we were Spartans. So that's why we notice these things. In caveman times we would probably eat them. What? Years ago a co-worker brought their few-week-old baby into work. Everyone was all, "He's so cute." Those freaking liars. That baby straight up looked like what I'd imagine a baby alien looks like. Not baby Yoda cute. Baby gray alien. Ugliest baby I've ever seen in my 38 years of life. I had to walk away before someone asked how cute he was because my face would have betrayed my lie if I was asked. I just shuddered at the memory. Poor kid. All the time. Especially the really ugly babies. When someone starts flaunting their ugly baby around, all I can think is that I wouldn't be so fast to tell everyone half that baby's DNA was mine. God no. Newborn babies accepted. Only their parents can look at these scowling, scrunched, irked, moist little critters and say, "Wow, that's beautiful." But to me, a former social worker, if I see kids or frankly people in general who aren't seriously mentally or physically compromised, I'm happy to see them. If they are in a difficult situation, then like you, I might feel bad wondering if they are gonna be able to make it to a happy place. This morning dropping off the kids to school, several of us dads were talking, and one mentioned that 4th graders didn't look like cute kids anymore. They had grown out of that little kid look. Another dad mentioned that he had a kid in 6th grade, and when his kid was in kindergarten, he saw older kids as not cute anymore. But as his kid grew and developed more personality, he realized that cute changes as your kids grow. Just because a kid is ugly to you, doesn't mean his family or friends see him the same way. Honestly, I'd rather hear you say kids are ugly than calling them sexy. A lot of MFs out there were drooling over Millie Bobby Brown from the first season of Stranger Things. Oh my god, it's like you read my mind. It is exactly my thought when I see the not so good looking kids, but who am I to judge? I'm an ugly potato too, ha 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 ha. Gross or stinky maybe, but never ugly. Kids doesn't just mean babies. Beauty is comparative. By default, some are below average, ugly, and some are above, pretty, depending on where you put your median. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.